CAD, in terms of dollar CAD, yeah, I think intraday shorts look the best here. I do think there's some downside intraday, but I wouldn't be looking for anything big for dollar CAD because overall I'm actually quite bullish on this one. I'm looking at buys here. We've had a really nice move to the upside. We've broken through some key resistance on our left there as well. I'm looking to see if price can eventually come back, retest this zone, and actually look for another bullish leg. So long term, that's still my play. However, it might be time for a bit of a pullback now. And intraday, you can take advantage of that. But again, I'm going to be looking for like a big swing because my higher time frame bias is still up. So if I'm going to go against that, I want to keep it short and sweet. But yeah, really nice close yesterday. This was yesterday afternoon. And if price can pull back into that zone, I do think that's a very attractive place for a short, as long as price can respect that high. And then I would expect to see another leg lower and possibly a push towards those areas, but I wouldn't necessarily try and bank on that. So yeah, USD CAD, I've gone from a pretty bullish bias at the start of the week to, okay, we failed at highs, we've broken through some structure, we're starting to see some momentum to the downside, to a point now where I'm actually bearish intraday. Still looking at buys slightly longer term, but yeah, I wouldn't be looking to buy if that was your bias here. I think the sells make a lot more sense, at least for the here and now. And then once we start to come to these areas, then hopefully we can start to switch around again and start to see break of structure and some buy opportunities come into play. But until then, I think short's where it's at. In terms of euro dollar, again, I still do think the market's pretty bearish. We've had a really nice reaction at that supply zone. So, great. And there's probably still a good chance that price does reach this support level. But do I really want to be taking shorts in that zone? No, not really. We're coming back into demand areas and we're looking a little bit tired as well. We had a bit of a strong close on the 4-hour candle, implying some bullish momentum coming to the market. So I just don't think this is entirely optimal in terms of a place to short. Again, a big way of how I trade is, if we've got structure in the market, oh my days. We've got the chainsaw guy back, right on cue. So yeah, if you've got a bullish structure like this, the areas I kind of want to be looking to buy in is down here. And then the areas I want to be selling in, if I want to go counter trend, is going to be up here. And those are kind of the zones I look at for shorts, zones I look at for longs. Now, if the market is trading in this zone here, even if I'm expecting price to go higher, it's just not a great place for me to buy. I'm coming into resistance, supply areas where price could reverse against me, and likewise in the other direction. So this is where I want to be selling. This is where I want to either be taking profit or just not doing anything. And if I do have an opposing bias, this is an area which I'll start to look for some longs. Preferably, actually, once we take out that low, then I'll start looking for some longs if I had that bias. But yeah, I just think price looks quite tired right now. Even if I drop intraday, doesn't fill me with a lot of confidence for the shorts here. I mean, maybe a push to the high there. That could be a nice place for a stop to put above. But again, it's just not in a great place. $5.45. Ooh, up nice and early, Francis. Okay, so we can go through Euro Yen and NAS for Elizabeth. Good morning, Pascal. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're good. Okay, quite a lot of the pairs you're monitoring there. Euro Aussie, Euro CAD, Euro NZD, Pound Aussie, Pound CAD, Pound NZD. Someone's busy. Buys are loading. I mean, they're all very, very bullish markets. So I'm actually bullish in all of those markets you just mentioned there. So I do have a similar bias to you. And we can talk about some opportunities because, yeah, buys could be loading. Buys could be loading. Not quite ready yet. But yeah, they could be loading. Exactly. I think that's going to become an iconic. I don't know what the word is I'm looking for. But yeah, I was going to have a recurring chainsaw on the stream now. That's how you know I'm live, if there's a chainsaw in the background. David, you go bearish. Which mark are you talking about? I'm going to sell. Can I hold? Are you talking about for euro? If you're talking about for euro, again, the biggest advice I would tell you is to stick to your plan, because again, I'm not a fortune teller. I can't tell you what the market's going to do. I wish I could. I can only look at probabilities, and I can only look at where I would look to buy, where I would look to sell, and what I would do. And with euro in this location, I wouldn't be looking to sell. I would have a bearish bias. I would expect us to still get to support, but I wouldn't look to sell here. If I was looking to sell, it would have to be higher up here. And if I was in a trade there, would I look to hold? Well, I normally do target price when lows, so I would still be holding the trade back to that low. Yeah, so that's my biggest takeaway. But again, if you should hold a trade or not, because I could tell you yes, hold, then it doesn't work, or I can tell you don't hold and it does work. And then next week it happens the other way around. So yeah, I'm afraid the answer to that question is whatever you plan to do. And if you didn't have a plan, well, take some profit and hold a little bit. That way you can scratch both itches. Angle grind, I think. Okay, you got an ear for it, CS. You can tell just by the sound. Okay, so we'll go through some of those markets Pascal mentioned, but I'll take a look at Euro, Yen, and NAS first. Yes, we can go through gold as well. So Euro, Yen, super bullish last time I looked. Is that still the case? Yeah, pretty much so. Nice momentum picking up. Looks like to me we're heading right back to the highs at 177. If you look at this from the higher time frames, this is the weekly chart. Momentum looks very, very bullish to me. Head to the daily chart. We're looking very bullish there as well. Just a lovely break and retest off that high. Similar setup to pound yen. It looks like price is now breaking out of this zone here, which I think is quite significant now. And the next stop to me looks like back at that high, and probably even higher as well. So if you're looking to trade Euro Yen, especially intraday, you're just looking at pullbacks. You got a lovely zone here. If price can pull back into that zone, I think there's a very high chance we do make a move back to resistance. And I'm pretty much looking at an almost identical setup on pound yen as well, intraday too. So I'm liking what I'm seeing for Euro Yen, I can't lie. It looks like we've put the low in, and now we've just been putting in some higher highs and higher lows. So the plan is, can we find the next one, the next higher low, to take it back to resistance, and perhaps you can maybe drop to like an hourly chart, 30-minute chart, try and really refine the entry, maximize risk to reward. But as long as we don't come crashing back down and break through this low, I'm looking for us to turn around and head back to 177.7. So yeah, extremely bullish in Euro Yen, expecting more upside. NAS 100 failed at the highs. Interesting. So I would still be pretty bullish with this one. I'm probably looking at buys a little bit deeper. Maybe if you're going to run this low here and then look at something like that, because we do have these higher highs and higher lows coming into play. And of course, generally speaking, we are still very bullish. Yes, we failed at highs, but I wouldn't read too much into that, especially in the market in this situation. And we haven't had like a ginormous reaction. Yes, we had a bearish candle there. I'll still say momentum's with the buyers, especially with these wicks here. So I'll be looking at something like that, especially for a bit more of a swing opportunity. That can take it back to highs, maybe even further as well. Intraday, you might see another drop. I wouldn't really be focused on the sells. I kind of predominantly want to stick to buys, especially in these conditions. So I would be looking around here 24,500. See if we can find some new lows and hopefully take it back to resistance. So NAS still pretty bullish to me as well. Yes, we can go through pound USD